Hello everyone, and welcome back to Kdh Art Class. Let's continue with learning about color theory and how we use the color wheel to help us choose the appropriate colors for our artwork. So in order to do that, you have to make a color wheel. We did that already. We actually even did it with crayons, where you could blend the colors to create the secondary colors. But which colors do you blend? Well, of course, you have to start with the three primary colors: red, blue, yellow. Without red, blue, and yellow, you cannot make any of the other colors, because you would need red plus yellow to make orange. You would need to make yellow plus blue to create green, and red plus blue to create purple. So that's what we learned in our color wheel by combining these colors. And even with the crayons, when you go on top of each other, you can actually create new colors. Same with colored pencils, and of course with paint. Yellow and blue made the green, and the red and the blue made the purple. So we're going to take these primary colors and secondary colors, and we're going to create just a cute little drawing. If you want to paint it, you can paint it, but using primary and secondary colors. So we've talked about lines and space, and we're really starting to touch on color now. Really focusing on these elements of art, so we're incorporating all of that. The lines are creating the actual shape of our mushrooms, as well as some of the details in it. Space, of course, is how close or far something is, or the positive and negative space. So with this, we have the nice big mushroom in the front, and because it looks like these are going behind them, that's creating that depth. They're further away because they're behind this mushroom. Okay. And then of course the mushrooms are a positive space, that's the area of interest, versus the background, which is our negative space, and that is where we're going to put our secondary colors, the orange, the green, and the purple, to kind of fill in the rest of the space, just to really complete our composition or complete our artwork. Alright, so what do we need? We need paper, pencil. You're going to need the three primary colors and the three secondary colors. You could even just have your three primary colors, and you can mix the secondary colors. Again, with crayon, colored pencil. You could even do it with markers. I don't like doing it with markers because it messes up the tips of my markers when you mix on top of each other, and then you always have that smudgy color that comes out afterwards. So I don't like using my markers for mixing, but hey, if that's what you really want to do, you are the artist in charge of your little world, feel free. And then of course, paint with the paintbrush. That is also your option for mixing it as well. But like I said, we made our color wheel, we did our mixing here. Now we're just focusing on an artwork that uses primary and secondary colors, just to really stick it in our brain. What are the primary colors and what colors do they make? Okay, whew, got all that said. Let's start. So go ahead and grab your pencil, whatever you're going to draw with. Of course, I'm going to focus on my marker, and I am calling this my more advanced lesson for my 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, mostly because it's a little more challenging to kind of fill in the background and think differently on this one. Alright, so how do we make our little mushrooms? Well, the first thing we need to do is you need to go ahead and add kind of this rainbowy shape. Okay. Then inside of it, make a little line. And go ahead and bring this line in, and right near the bottom I'm going to flare it out just a little bit, so it's going to look a little bit fatter on the bottom and a little bit skinnier as you're going up. So I'm coming down, there's the skinny part, and now it's going to flare out to be the stem. Alright, now I'm going to take this line and kind of curve it in, and take this line and curve it in so that they're lined up kind of side by side. That is the underside of our cute little mushroom. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and create the cap to our little mushroom, just to make it fun. Alright, so they have these neat little ridges or ribs or something like that coming out from the stem to the end, and since we're looking up, kind of like that perspective of worm's eye view, we're smaller than the mushroom, and we're looking upward. I'm going to go ahead and open up with a couple lines, and then my lines are just all going to be coming out from that stem. As I go around and around and around. Kind of have an extra big area there, so I'm just going to divide it in half. That's up to you. You're looking at your artwork. And then we're going to do the same going the other direction. Again, coming out. By now you've kind of noticed I'm going a little bit bigger as I get to the cap. And I'm going around and around and around. Alright, so now we're looking at the bottom of the mushroom cap. I do like to add some little lines. Gives it a little texture in the stem instead of its kind of boringness. These are kind of where those cross contour lines are. And as they're coming in. Cross contour, it's kind of following the shape. Coming in, I just made it a little bit more wiggly. Again, showing a little bit of that texture. I do like to go ahead and give the little ridge, surround it with the edge of the cap. And then I'm free to do whatever I want on top. Alright, so from there we're going to show a little bit more space behind, or create space. So these are going to overlap a little bit, so I'm just going to do the edge of my next mushroom coming out from behind this mushroom. And I'm going to come up a little bit, because again I want it to be behind this mushroom. And it's going to come up and might even bump into the cap a little bit and come down to connect. So there's my little mushroom cap. I'm going to do my stem, and I'm even going to make my stem a little bit shorter. So it's going to go skinny, and remember it likes to flare out a little bit, and I stopped it before it got to the same length here. So I made it shorter, again to show that it's behind. On the other side, come in a little bit and open it up, and there is my stem for my second mushroom. To show these little ridges, I'm going to come down a little bit and boop, bump in, jump over across, and continue behind this first big mushroom. Same thing with these. I'm bumping everything today. Ridges I have here. They're going to be coming from my stem, and they're going to be coming down, down, and down. and then they'll be coming out from this stem over here on that side. So you don't see as much, it's a little bit shorter. See more of the underside, less. Again, I kind of like showing that little edge there. You do not have to, it's just a personal preference of mine. And then I'm going to add my kind of cross contoury lines. Again, I like to extra wiggleize them, if that's even a word. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And there we go. So there's mushroom number 2. And then mushroom number 3 is also going to be smaller. I can even make it smaller than this one. I haven't done that yet. So even though I might see most all of this mushroom cap, there's the top of it. The bottom's just going to give a little wiggle and connect. And then the stem is going to come in a little bit, open up, and make sure I stop it so it's shorter than this front one. And same with the other side. Let's add our little texture, our little cross contouring lines. And then it's up to you if you want to see some of the bottom or not. It's tilted forward, so it can go either way. Maybe we'll just see just a little bit of it. And then add a few lines on the bottom. So it looks kind of weird. There are 3 different stages because they're not grounded. I need to go ahead and create my horizon line. So I'm going to connect these 2 mushrooms, jump over to this side and connect these 2, and jump over and take it off the page, and jump over this one and come over and go till it falls off the page. Now they're starting to make more sense. You can even connect it on the bottom, but I kind of like to let the colors do that. Maybe I'll even add just gentle, don't smash your marker. It didn't do anything wrong to you yet. Well, probably never. Just touch, 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 touch. And create a little bit of a textural gravel on the ground. Just to kind of fill it in. There. It makes it more fun, more interesting. Okay. So, there you have it. Now, it's up to you to start thinking about what kind of designs you want to do with your 3 primary colors on your 3 mushroom caps. I keep trying to call them marshmallows. I must be in the mood for s'mores since the weather is getting colder outside. Alright, so I did some nice little wavy lines and put some zigzag lines in between. These are more vertical lines, these are more horizontal. Then I just broke up some circle lines in there, added some, some nice little close lines, parallel lines all around, coloring in. So it's up to you what you would like to do. So at this point, feel free to create your mushrooms any way that you want. You can do zigzag. You can even do a couple little zigzag lines. I like to kind of mimic them. And maybe for fun, I'll do some zigzags down here. And again, follow them so I stay the equal distance away. I like doing 2 lines because then you can color in between. And then to make it more fun, you know what? Maybe I'm just going to do some nice broken lines for some texture. Almost makes it look like a strawberry. Oh, I love it. How fun is this project? Broken lines, broken lines. Dot, 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 dot. And then just a couple more to finish it out. Fun, fun, fun. It does look like a strawberry. Ha! I love it. Alright. So then you need to come up with some fancy, neat little design for this one over here. And we learned so many different lines in our last 9 weeks unit. Because line is the most important thing if you're going to be drawing. You cannot do drawings without lines. We had the bumpy lines, the zigzag lines, the curved lines, the wavy lines. I think I'm going to do a nice little curved line around. Don't know if the loopy lines are exactly what I'm going for, but maybe a nice, ooh, how fun would a wavy line be? Up and down. Broken line going across. Just to change it up. Maybe an upside down bumpy line. And one more little curved line there. Just to make it, the more stuff that you seem to add, the better it seems to look. Personal opinion. Then you have the curved lines. You do a couple curved lines. And these are your creations. There really is no right or wrong way of doing it. I struggle with so many students that are just like, it doesn't look like yours, so I did it wrong. No, you did it right. You did it more correctly than the kid that followed me. Exactly, this is my creation. You need to be able to come up with your own creations. And as you can see, it just kind of creates some stuff there. I feel like the stems themselves are going to need some sort of excitement. So you can even add a few lines to break it up. I don't know if I'm going to do all lines. I can do some zigzags again to kind of change it up a little bit. Can't have the same old, same old. And yes, once again, I don't do the exact same thing on each mushroom. I personally like to change it up. You are free to do as you like. Alright, from there, this is going to give us plenty of opportunity to do our red, yellow, and blue interesting and exciting lines and color them in. And you can of course do it any way that you want. You can make all this different colors of yellows, and ways to do that is you start pulling out all of your yellows that you might have, you know, crayon, markers, highlighters. Don't forget your colored pencils come in different yellows as well, and you can do all of it. This is called monochromatic. It's all one color. It's just all the different lights and darks of that one color. So that could be a fun way of doing that. So if I wanted to do, you know, this little mushroom where it's all kinds of different colors. This yellow has got a little bit more orangey color to it. Where my highlighter is definitely a brighter yellow. So even though they're both yellows, they're different looking yellows. And you can change it up that way and make the whole thing yellow right down to the stem. Or you can mix it up. If you don't have a whole lot of variety of yellows, then not a problem. You can simply stick with your red, yellows, and blues, be it crayons, colored pencils, again, whatever you happen to have. And you can change it up. Believe it or not, I do not have just a regular red water-based marker. I have all my supplies. I'm missing the simple red one. Oh, and the blue one. I have the teals and I have the fuchsias, but for some reason I'm just missing the red. So just to kind of change it up. And because white and black represent the tints and the shades, I'm not even going to count those. So if you want to leave some white as part of your design, like I'm thinking of leaving the white in between the reds, and maybe not between the blues, maybe I'm just going to grab a crayon. Just so I can get some different variations of the blue underneath. And just kind of going from there. Where's all my colored pencils? So as long as you're sticking to red, yellow, and blue, the three primary colors, it does not matter which red color, which blue color, or which yellow color you use. Just as long as you're using only red, yellow, and blue. And some of my students, I'll sit there and try and say red, yellow, and blue as many times as I can say red, yellow, and blue, just to make sure it sticks into their head, because we wouldn't want them to forget about red, yellow, and blue, because those are our primary colors. Red, yellow, blue, of course, are the primary colors. And we don't want to ever forget that they are red, yellow, and blue, the three most important colors in art, because you cannot make the other colors without them. You must have the red, the yellow, and the blue. In fact, I'm thinking I need to add some more yellow in there. I think I'll use this yellow-green color. It looks yellow. So many kids will argue with me, it's not yellow. It's like, put it on your paper. It has more yellow than it does green, and it comes across as a yellow color. And there we go. I got a red, a yellow, and a green there, and you're going to continue on with your other two mushrooms. I'm so going to continue on with these. I'm having too much fun not doing it. I'm having too much fun doing it. What can I say? This is just too fun. Alright, from there we need to think of our background. So our background needs to be our secondary colors. So here I just did simple stripes, green to orange with purple in between, and I changed the width of the purple lines there, just to, you know, just to make it more interesting. You could simply just like color an orange sun with a purple sky, or an orange moon or orange stars with a purple sky, and green, you know, grass or moldy area, the kind of the algae that the mushrooms like to grow in. They also like growing in the grass if it's wet enough outside. So from this point, your challenge is to use only red, yellow, and blue for your mushrooms, and only use the purple, the orange, and the greens, secondary colors, for your background. Primary colors for your positive mushroom space. Secondary colors, orange, green, purple, for your negative space or the background around your mushrooms. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have fun coloring. I think I'm going to be finishing coloring up my mushrooms after this, but I didn't want you to sit around for the next 20 minutes as I'm doing it. I want you to create on your own. Have fun creating, and I look forward to our next lesson together. Bye!